Hi everyone, my name is Samantha and welcome to my YouTube channel, Sewing in Switzerland. So I just thought I'd pop on here really quickly because I want to show you another sewing dud that I have created. I'm not having much luck this week, to be honest. Made a couple of patterns back to back that have just been hideous on me. The first one was the Benning dress by Seamwork, and then I wanted to compare it to another Seamwork pattern, so I've made the Kirby shorts. It's not great. It's not great. I've got them on. I want to show them to you. I feel very embarrassed putting this on the internet, but I do find that you see things or you watch videos on the internet and you often only see the things that the projects that turn out really well, and it can be a bit demoralizing if you yourself are making a project and that turns out to be like a massive dud. So I thought I'd be completely transparent and show you all my duds and everything that I'm sewing, so that you can, if you experience, a pattern that doesn't work out, you can say, well, it happens. It happens to other people all the time, which can sometimes feel like it isn't, or it doesn't. So yeah, it's a terrible, terrible pair of shorts that I'm going to show you in just a moment. If you're new here, which I'm guessing some of you might be, as only 20% of the people who watch my videos are subscribers, so please do, if you like my content, like and subscribe to my channel because it would make me very happy. And I've recently been demonetized because I didn't make any videos for several months due to the loss of my dog. So I'm trying to get back into the habit of posting and re-monetize my channel so I can buy my dogs snacks, which is the purpose of all of this. So yeah, I'm just gonna stand up and show you the pattern, the shorts that I've made, and then I'm gonna show you what I'm sewing on the table at the moment. And I have a really, really exciting day out planned that these shorts were gonna be part of, but now I have to rethink the whole outfit. So I just want to tell you about that because it's really cool. So yeah, let me just show you the shorts. Okay, so these are I feel so embarrassed with this. These are the Seamwork Kirby shorts, right? I did have these really gorgeous little flower red buttons on the pocket flaps here, but I've taken them off in a you don't deserve good buttons kind of way. So yeah, I made the size 16. I think maybe the Seamwork block just doesn't work for my body. What I was going for was like a Parisian chic shorts. I was going to pair it with a really crisp white shirt with a nice kind of popped collar, some red lipstick, and it was going to be really, really gorgeous. But I actually look like I look like Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberries. So yeah, it fits here. It's like, I'll show you the back. We've got like an excess of fabric that I think is just not working. Like a whole chunk of that needs to come out, and the same on the front. If you can see the twisted waistband, it's because it's held with a safety pin. I haven't finished stitching it up. I'm gonna scrap this, and this can become like pocket linings or maybe a scrunchie. So it'll get used, but it's not staying as a pair of shorts, that's for sure. So yeah, we have this like excess fabric that's kind of just flapping around. I think it might have looked a little bit better if I'd made it in a linen, something that softens up over time. Perhaps this fabric is obviously not the best fabric choice. It happens. Sometimes you make a project and it doesn't pan out. I don't think it's just the fabric choice. It's just horrible. It doesn't fit well. It doesn't look good. It's uncomfortable to wear, like between my legs there's just this fabric kind of in excess that's folding over. The pockets don't even sit right on my hips. They're kind of like flapping open every time I move. There's no kind of, you know, there's no laying flush or anything like that. So yeah, knock off Nigel is where I'm at in these. So this is the second seamwork pattern that I've made, and it's just, I'm thinking not working out for me. I'm going to have a go and make a shirt and a top neck list from their range and see if that fares any better. I'm determined to find a pattern that actually works, but this ain't it. So there we have it. Another failed seamwork project. It's I wanted to like look at the instructions, which is one of the reasons why I picked that one, because the banning instructions, a lot of people have had problems with that, and I'm working on a sew along actually because there isn't one on Seamwork for that. And the Kirby shorts were supposedly also a beginner project, but not sure I'd recommend them for beginners based on the level of instructions. So for instance, you get to the end and then you have to like thread, you know, you attach a waistband and then you thread in the elastic and then you stitch the elastic together and stitch the waistband and, you know, like the top stitch the gap closed, etc, etc. You all know what I'm talking about. But it just says on the instructions, right, and I thought I was like losing the plot. So to work out, you get to the end and it says, you know, the threading the elastic bit. And it says to thread the elastic, to work out your elastic size, go back to pages 8 to 12. And it's like the beginning where all like the garment measurements are. And normally, if you're making an elasticated waist for any reason, or an elasticated, you know, cuff or anything like that, they'll give you a table with the sizing and then how much elastic to cut, and then that's your guide, right? This only had sizing. There's no information on how much elastic you need per size, right? So if you're completely new to sewing and this is your first sewing project, making an elastic waist, you're going to really struggle because you're going to get to the end and not know how much elastic you need. Right? The information just isn't there. It just makes absolutely no sense. It's just like somebody has written it and not like double checked it or sense checked it or finished writing it. So yeah. So I will put this in the tags. So if you happen to come across this video and you're in the process of making these shorts and you get to the end and you don't know how much elastic you need, a good general rule of thumb is to pull the elastic around your waist, right, without stretching it. So just no kind of pulling it taut or anything, just as it sits, right? And then take 2 inches off that length that you come to. And then that's a pretty good gauge for how much elastic you'll need. And then cut it there and then thread that through and then just pop it together with a safety pin and you can check if that kind of works for you. But that is my general go-to guide. If I don't want to look up how much elastic to use, just measure your waist with the elastic band and then knock 2 inches off the end. And then that's pretty good. Always works for me anyway. Pretty good tip. So yeah, it was I'm just finding it to be a bit unfinished and a bit sloppy, and the actual shorts are just horrible. So yeah, we're gonna try something else because yeah. So at the moment I've pivoted. I'm making a wrap top because so for the season that you want, and I want autumn and winter and cold seasons. So I'm making the Butterick 6285. It also goes under another name, Simplicity 9288. And you can also get the pattern if you subscribe to Gertie or Gertie's Patreon, Gretchen Hirsch. She's really good. She's the pattern designer behind all the charm patterns. So she actually has this on her Patreon with an expanded bust range. So I'm making it with a double D, so the larger bust extension for this, and it goes up to a H cup, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, making a nice wrap top, and away we go. Just in a plain, we've got a plain red jersey here, so I'm hoping that will look quite nice. I just need a project that isn't a total bleh, you know? Sometimes you just need to do like a TNT or a tried and tested. So my plan was to wear these kind of safari style shorts because I have a really, really exciting day planned tomorrow. We're actually going into the mountains. So like fully up the mountain, and they have a nature park there that is home to a ton of squirrels, right? I love nature. I love to be in nature, and I can't get my words out. My most beloved thing is animals. Absolutely love animals, and you can visit this nature park, the squirrel nature park, and you can take a bag of like hazelnuts. That's their favourite, and you can feed the squirrels, right? They're tame. They're known as the Squirrel Nature Park. You can go visit them. You can actually take your dogs. So we're going to take the team potatoes with us. Obviously, if you have a reactive dog, don't take them. But a squirrel could sit next to Spud, and she, A, probably wouldn't notice. B, if she did, she'd just be like, hey. She's so chill, as is Baby Bear. Completely chill. Unless you are the doorbell or a dog on television, not a real life dog, just on television, they're pretty chill. So yeah, and then you just take like a bag of hazelnuts and you can just feed the squirrels. And I mean, like, they come up to you with their little hands out and they'll just take a hazelnut from you. You just, you know, put them in your hands and they'll come along. And a really fun fact about squirrels is they are clever enough to do the old bait and switch, right? So if they think that another squirrel is watching them hide their nuts, right, they will pretend to dig a hole and then like pretend to fill it back in and then take the nut elsewhere and bury it somewhere else. So if they feel like they're being watched by other squirrels, which I think is so cool. They're so clever. So yeah, you can go visit these squirrels and they're just everywhere. They're in all the trees and they scamper down. They come up to your feet and they're just really, really tame. Really tame. They will sit in front of you. This is how much they trust humans in this place. They will sit in front of you and eat their nut, right, whilst holding it. And they hold it in these tiny little hands. And I'm going to take the camera with me and I'm going to try and get some pictures, maybe a video if I can. And no videographer here, guys. And then I'll put it in the video next week so that you can see them and be a part of this squirrel day out. So that's why I wanted the safari shorts for, because I made the pockets extra big so that we could stuff them full of treats for the squirrels. So yeah, gonna have to rethink tomorrow's outfit, unfortunately, but there we are. So that is what I am up to. That is what I'm sewing for. I'm slightly at my wit's end with the Seamwork stuff, the subscription. So if anybody has a Seamwork subscription and has a pattern that they've made that's worked out really well for them, please do recommend it, because I just need a winner. We'll keep going until we find a winner, but yeah, 2 patterns in and I'm not doing great. So yeah, do please let me know in the comments what you're making, and also if you like squirrels, because I feel like I've just waxed lyrical about squirrels and you might all be thinking, Sam, what are you talking about? But I've also had a Red Bull, if that answers any of your questions. And I will see you all soon. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and do please like and subscribe, and my brain decided not to finish the end of that sentence. Turn on your notifications. Thank you so much. Bye.